Hello everyone, welcome to Spellbound Stories, where we explore the fascinating world of myths and legends. I'm your host Black, and today we're going to talk about one of the most powerful and awe-inspiring types of gods in mythology, the thunder gods. Thunder gods are the deities who control the forces of thunder and lightning, often wielding mighty weapons or tools that can unleash devastating storms. They are usually associated with the sky, the weather, and the protection of humankind. But they can also be temperamental, wrathful, and destructive, depending on their mood and the situation. There are many thunder gods in different cultures and regions, each with their own unique characteristics, stories, and symbols. Some of them are very well known, such as Zeus from Greek mythology, Thor from Norse mythology, and Indra from Hindu mythology. But there are also many lesser-known or obscure thunder gods, such as Sugar from Basque mythology, Horogales from Sami mythology, and Tenman Daijizai Tenjin from Japanese mythology. In this video, we're going to explore every major thunder god in mythology and explain their origins, attributes, and roles. We'll also compare and contrast them and see how they reflect the values and beliefs of their respective cultures. So buckle up and get ready for a thunderous journey through the myths and legends of the world. But before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps us out a lot. Thank you. Now let's start with the most famous and influential thunder god of all, Zeus, the king of the gods in Greek mythology. Zeus was the son of Cronus and Rhea, the titans who ruled the world before the gods. He led his siblings in a war against their father, who had swallowed them at birth and freed them with the help of his weapon, the thunderbolt. He then divided the world among his brothers, taking the sky as his domain, and became the supreme ruler of the gods and the universe. Zeus was depicted as a majestic and bearded man, wearing a crown and a cloak, and holding a thunderbolt or a scepter. He was also associated with the eagle, the oak tree, and the bull. He was the god of justice, law, order, and fate, and he maintained the balance and harmony of the cosmos. He was also the protector of kings, heroes, and travelers, and he often intervened in human affairs, sometimes for good, sometimes for ill. Zeus was also notorious for his many affairs and love interests, both divine and mortal. He had countless children, some of whom became famous gods and heroes, such as Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, Hercules, and Perseus. He also had many enemies, such as the giants, the titans, and the monster Typhon, who challenged his authority and power. He often had to fight them with the help of his thunderbolts and his allies, such as his wife Hera, his brother Poseidon, and his daughter Athena. Zeus was worshipped throughout the ancient Greek world, and he had many temples and shrines dedicated to him. The most famous one was the Temple of Zeus at Olympia, where the Olympic Games were held in his honor. He was also revered as the god of hospitality, and he was invoked in oaths and contracts. He was considered the father of gods and men, and the source of all life and wisdom. Zeus was the most prominent and influential thunder god in Western culture, and he had many counterparts and equivalents in other mythologies, such as Jupiter in Roman mythology, Tinia in Etruscan mythology, and Zibeltheurdos in Thracian mythology. He was also related to the Indo-European sky god Dyaus, who was the ancestor of many other thunder gods, such as Indra, Perun, and Thor. Speaking of Thor, he was the most popular and beloved thunder god in Norse mythology. Thor was the son of Odin, the king of the gods, and Jord, the goddess of the earth. He was the god of thunder, lightning, storms, strength, and fertility, and he was the protector of mankind, especially the farmers and the warriors. He was also the enemy of the giants, the serpents, and the forces of chaos, who threatened the order and stability of the world. Thor was depicted as a muscular and red-haired man, wearing a belt of strength, a pair of iron gloves, and a chariot pulled by two goats. He wielded the most powerful weapon in Norse mythology, the hammer Mjolnir, which could create thunder and lightning, and return to his hand after being thrown. He also had other items such as the staff Grithir, the belt Megingjord, and the iron gloves Jarngreipr, which enhanced his power and abilities. Thor was the most active and adventurous of the Norse gods, and he had many stories and sagas about his exploits and deeds. He often traveled to the land of the giants, Jotunheim, where he fought and outwitted them with the help of his hammer and his companions, such as Loki, the god of mischief, and Thialfi, his servant. He also faced many other foes, such as the world serpent Jormungandr, the wolf Fenrir, and the giant Hrungnir. Thor was worshipped throughout the Norse world, and he had many symbols and rituals associated with him. His hammer was a sign of protection and blessing, and it was used in ceremonies such as weddings, funerals, and births. He was also invoked in prayers and charms, and he was honored with sacrifices and offerings, especially of goats and ale. He was considered the friend and patron of the common people, and the defender of the sacred and the profane. Thor was the most prominent and influential thunder god in Northern Europe, and he had many counterparts and equivalents in other Germanic mythologies, such as Donar in Old High German, Thunor in Old English, and Thunar in Old Frisian. He was also related to the Celtic god Taranis, who was also a thunder god with a hammer-like weapon. Now let's move on to another major thunder god in Eastern culture, Indra, the king of the gods in Hindu mythology. Indra was the son of Dyaus, the sky god, and Prithvi, the earth goddess. He was the god of thunder, lightning, rain, war, and sovereignty, and he was the leader of the Devas, the celestial beings who opposed the Asuras, the demonic beings. He was also the lord of heaven, Swarga, where he resided with his wife Shachi and his court. Indra was depicted as a fair-skinned and golden-haired man, wearing a crown and a necklace and riding a chariot or an elephant. He wielded the most powerful weapon in Hindu mythology, the Vajra, which was a thunderbolt or a club, and could destroy anything in its path. He also had other weapons, such as the bow Pinaka, the sword Vajra Suchi, and the net Indrajal, which could trap and ensnare his enemies. Indra was the most heroic of the Hindu gods, and he had many legends and hymns about his feats and achievements. He was the slayer of Vritra, the dragon who hoarded the waters of the world, and he released them with his thunderbolt, creating the rivers and the rain. He was also the conqueror of the three worlds, the heaven, the earth, and the underworld, and he established his supremacy over the other gods and beings. Indra was worshipped throughout the ancient Indian subcontinent, and he had many festivals and rites dedicated to him. He was the recipient of the Soma, the sacred drink that gave him strength and immortality, and he was praised in the Vedas, the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. He was also revered as the god of kings, warriors, and heroes, and he was invoked in battles and wars. He was considered the father of Arjuna, the hero of the Mahabharata, and the ancestor of many royal dynasties. Indra was the most prominent and influential thunder god in South Asia, and he had many counterparts and equivalents in other Indo-Aryan mythologies, such as Varathragna in Zoroastrianism, Indara in Buddhism, and Indagni in Jainism. He was also related to the Vedic sky god, Dyaus, who was the origin of many other thunder gods, such as Zeus, Jupiter, and Tinia. These are just some of the examples of the thunder gods in mythology, but there are many more, such as Raijin from Japanese mythology, Chak from Mayan mythology, Lei Gong from Chinese mythology, and Perun from Slavic mythology. Each of them has their own unique stories, attributes, and roles, and they reflect the diversity and richness of the human imagination and culture. Thunder gods are among the most fascinating and powerful types of gods in mythology, and they have inspired and influenced many aspects of art, literature, and religion. They represent the awe and fear that humans have towards the natural phenomena of thunder and lightning, and the hope and gratitude that they have for the rain and the fertility that it brings. They also symbolize the courage and strength that humans need to face the challenges and dangers of life. They also express the creativity and diversity of the human spirit, and the connection and communication between the human and the divine. And that's all for today's video on every major thunder god in mythology explained. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a like and share it with your friends who are also interested in myths and legends. And don't forget to subscribe to Spellbound Stories, where we bring you more captivating and creative stories every week. We have 2 videos every Monday and Thursday, so make sure to hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload a new video. You don't want to miss them. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more spellbinding stories. Goodbye.